crystal ball out, and where do you believe we are going to be 3 months, 6 months, 12 months?
It's a really tough one,
Got
obviously.
you on the hop here now.
Yeah. So I was surprised how shocked everyone seemed to be in the social media world when they announced that we weren't ending the lockdown the other day. It didn't even cross my mind. They're just about getting the test capability up. They're just about steadying, balancing the amount of beds with the amount of ICU rooms and stuff. Like, I don't want to go too much into it because I'm in no way an expert, but it felt like we're still very much at the start of all this that's happening. I guess the question you were asking me was more about the property market.
Yeah,
So,
more about property and more about the recovery. I mean, I just briefly, we're on a downward trend, and for me, I just think we've got 3 months of pause, no movement, minimal things happening with everything, on pause. 6 months, I think we'll start to. I think people will still be frightened to spend, but opportunities will start to arise. And 12 months, I think, will be a really good time to be sat on liquid cash to be able to move.
yeah, I think I can't argue with you. I think there's going to be opportunities all the way over the next 12 months. It's very, it's a difficult thing to talk about sort of too positively because, people are disappointed if their house value falls. There's no real evidence of that yet. The lenders are still just about lending. It will be a bit more of a challenge for people that are doing, sort of new mortgages or new builds and all that kind of stuff if they need to sell huge developments. But people who are sat in their house, haven't lost any money. As it stands, unless they were banking on selling up and moving to Thailand or whatever on the exact value that they think their house is worth, as long as they're sitting tight, there's no real issues there. The Chancellor's done what seems like everything in their power to try and make sure that people keep working and keep being able to afford their rent or their mortgages. But the market is the market, and when houses come available, you don't really know the backstory. And if the price is right for what you're doing in your business, then the price is right.
Yeah, I mean, obviously at the auction, I'm sure in 12 months' time there's going to be more products coming to market, whether it's repossessions, probate, like you say. It's our industry, it's what we do, isn't it? So we've got to be there to take advantage and get a good deal, so to speak.
Yeah. If you don't buy it, someone else will.
Yeah. And I always try and buy everything with a flip strategy, so that there should be plan B and plan C behind it. If you flip is plan A, and if everything you buy, I think you need to be buying with them eyes of plan A, B, and C. It just keeps it safe, keeps the deal robust, and you've got options.
The other thing is, though, I don't know if you've had any letters this week. The banks that used to give you 0.3% are now knocking it down to 0.01% in interest. So it's barely a fraction of a penny that you get.
Why even bother?
Yeah, but but that potentially is positive, obviously, for us. There should be more people I think a lot of people know that they get rubbish interest rate, but when they get the letter, it just reminds them. And when there's people offering, what are quite handsome returns when it comes to people doing development projects, and obviously the return reflects the fact that there's a level of risk in it, but depending, how well they know you, how well they know your business and your projects, then there's certainly going to be people looking at their bank accounts and thinking this money could be working a lot harder and looking for other places to put it. And that's another potential opportunity for, us and people in our position.
A few people have reached out to me this week, basically saying they need to have a good year on paper. So if if I know of any decent projects, knock on their door, because they've got some cash and they need it to be working.
Especially if they've got stocks and shares that will all have taken a bit of a dive as well, so they'll want to balance that off maybe.